So, hello everybody, my name's Andrew Green and I'm the chair of the board of the New Welsh Review. And I'm here to welcome you to this celebration of the magazine's New Welsh Writing Awards 2022. Shortly, we're going to be revealing the winner of the Rheidol Prize for Prose with a Welsh theme or setting, sponsored by Richard Powell. Croeso cynnes I wobre ysgrifennu newydd Cymru eleni. Unwaith eto, mae'r sesiwn hon yn digwydd ar-line, yn hytrach nag mewn stafell neu babell, ond gobeithio y gallwn ni dathlu serch hynny a gwneud cyfiawnder i'r awduron hynny sy'n fuddigol eleni yn y gystadleuaeth. A word next about New Welsh Review. New Welsh Review has been at the heart of creative writing and creative reading in Wales for many decades. We try to give a stage to new writers of talent and to established authors. We offer a home for serious non-fiction, as well as short-form fiction and poems. And of course, we ask our reviewers to give their regular critical assessments of published books. We try ourselves to publish writing of excellence from wherever it comes. Gwen Davies, our editor, is always on the lookout for work of quality. The New Welsh Writing Awards, now in their 8th year, are a powerful means of generating good work, and we publish in print or online much of the best work that's submitted. Incidentally, the next New Welsh Reader, number 129, is published in May, on the 25th of May. We also have an event at the Hay Festival this year with Gwen in the chair, a forum on creative writing with Jem Poster and Sarah Burton on Sunday the 29th of May at 2:30 in the afternoon, if you can be there. If you don't already, I'd suggest you take out a subscription to New Welsh Review to avoid missing anything. And please tell your friends and relations about the magazine. We're always in need of new readers and of new sponsors. Talking of sponsors, we'd like now to thank our sponsor for the awards this year, Richard Powell. Richard has been generous to us for many years and continues to be so. I'd also like to thank our partners, Tŷ Newydd in Llanystumdwy, Gladstone's Library in Harden, and Catherine Summerhays, literary agent at Curtis Brown. The Welsh Books Council, of course, is our main sponsor, and it's fair to say we wouldn't exist without its help. Or, of course, without the support of the wonderful staff of the New Welsh Review, Gwen Davies, Bronwyn Williams, and Gemma Besant. And now, before you hear from Gwen, who's going to announce the winner of the Rheidol Award, I'd like to introduce Richard Powell, who will talk briefly now about his sponsorship of the prize.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us today for the New Welsh Writing Awards. I'm Richard Powell, and this year is the 4th where I've sponsored the Rheidol Prize for writing on a Welsh theme or subject. The awards are intended to contribute to Welsh literary culture by helping writers to develop and to find a readership for their work. There are not many positive things to be said for lockdown, but one of them is that it gives writers the time to reflect on their world. The quality of the entries this year was very high, and the themes explored very varied. They are a pleasure to read, and I congratulate everyone who reached the shortlist. I hope you will all reach the wider readership you deserve. I'd like to thank the team at New Welsh Review for turning my financial sponsorship into writerly reality. Gwen Davies acted as the sole judge this year, a serious responsibility. I am sure she made the right decision, though I have yet to learn what it was. Julia Foster covered the marketing and promotion for the early part of the year, and Gemma Besant has now stepped into her shoes and will, I am sure, do an equally good job. Bronwyn Williams looks after the finances, without which none of this would be happening, and Andrew Green and his fellow board members have worked hard behind the scenes to secure the future of the review. It already seems a long time since the first year of the awards, which was the only time so far we were able to convene in person. Although COVID remains a problem, I'm sure many of you will share my feeling that life is returning to normal. I hope that continues, and next year we will be able to meet in person once again. Thank you.
Yn gyntaf, hoffwn longo farch yr ysgrifenwyr ar y restr fer eleni. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the writers on the shortlist this year. That's Eleanor Williams, Tim Cook and Hattie Morrison. Ac esbonio chydig am gefndir y New Welsh Writing Awards, and also to explain a little about why the New Welsh Writing Awards is set up. That was in 2015, and we wanted to celebrate shorter books, so that's writing of between 5,000 and 30,000 words. We've awarded winners and published works in the categories of nature, travel, memoir, dystopian novella, and more recently, with the support of our sponsor, Richard Powell, Prose with a Welsh theme or setting. The writers we've set on their careers include Elena Gramech, Kath Barton, Ed Garland, Mandy Sutter, and the working class Board and Tasker nominee and writer about mountaineering and climbing, Peter Goulding. And early next year, we'll publish the book of last year's winner, that was Jasmine Donaghy, and we'll be bringing out her book of autobiographical essays called Birdsplaining. Now we're going to watch Eleanor Williams, Tim Cook and Hattie Morrison present their work in no particular order.
My in-laws kept a craft shop. It was like an Aladdin's cave. The first time tea took me to meet them, after supper at the big table in their kitchen, Deborah, Tea's grandmother, unlocked a door and we stepped into a darkened shop. She flicked on the light and I gasped. It was wonderful, and funnily enough, I always think of that exact moment of the room being soaked in light as the time when I fell in love with tea. The shop was stuffed with craft accessories. The walls comprised little drawers filled with sequins, needles, glue pots, pom-poms, crochet hooks, ribbons, tape measures. None of them was labelled, but Deborah seemed to know exactly where everything was. I remember standing that evening behind the long counter with the material measure embedded into its length, ending in the huge gilded old-fashioned till, looking at the bales of net and the sacks of stuffing. That was the first occasion of many that Deborah and I spent in the shop. Those were happy times. I think what I liked was feeling that I was part of a community. Deborah and her world.
Standing in the corner of the courtyard, I surveyed the scene. The bookshop teemed with activity, people shuffling in and out, bags bulging with signed hardbacks and other purchases. The grass square was packed with sun loungers, but those using them had either draped coats over themselves or were otherwise dressed for the grey weather. Was this the sort of place, I wondered, where someone with the absolute worst of intentions might lurk? Was this where the most sinister plan imaginable could be put into motion? Such thoughts invariably simmer below the surface in these moments. I turned back towards the entrance and saw a man who, I realised, must have been the boy's father. He was holding tight to another child's hand, nodding as an official tried to reassure him that everything would be fine. The fear in his expression, though, was unmistakable. The muscles in his jaw pulled firm as his grip. I stepped off the platform onto the grass and walked again beside the throng, checking for any trace of a child untethered. As I neared the opposite corner, I came upon a boy walking alone in the gulf between two groups, with no apparent ties to anyone around him. He wasn't crying, and there were no other signs of distress. On closer inspection, I saw a train badge on the front of his coat. It was different to how I'd expected it to look. Bigger, not blue, but it was without doubt a train. Buzzing with a surge of adrenaline, I knelt down to block his path and said as softly as I could, "Hi there, I'm going to carry you back to your mum, okay?" He looked around, unable or unwilling to make full eye contact, then nodded and almost smiled. I scooped him up and set off at a jog, as easy as that.
I have been having the same two dreams each month for almost a year now. In the first dream, my stomach is full of the kind of thick thread that was used to tie fleece together and hoist it up a flight of stairs before being processed into a blanket here at Derry Mill. The kind of thread that made the rope I used to climb at school, twisted into strength and function, that was so rough and dense that when it rubbed against my thighs it would burn them a fiery red. In the dream, I'm able to go about the things on my list, but I'm very aware of the things pressed against my throat, and can see the fraying ends poking at the back of my mouth when I look at myself in reflective things, baring teeth at shop windows, cars, and living room windows. On a walk in the dream, I'm moving naked through a green woodland, not dissimilar from the one in our garden. A fair-headed man with a fig leaf for modesty heads for me from behind a tree, and with force, he starts pulling lengths of the thread out of my mouth, laying it in a rising spiral at my feet. He then takes some polished scissors, cuts the thread, and walks with it to a merchant. He makes enough money to buy himself golden trousers, a pressed white shirt, a tie, and a jacket spun with fine silver thread. I wake up crying. In the second dream, I'm juggling the earth and the sun. The hot star burns my hands to blisters and the blue planet slips from my fingers. My arms begin to move faster against my will, and though the water cools my hands, the heat grows more and more painful. So I call out for a pause, for a break, for a chance to improve my method, for mercy, but no pause comes, only a pair of gloves landing at my feet to be worn as protection for my palms. I try to pick up the gloves from the floor, but I can't. I have to keep the sun and earth from falling. I can't stop, even though I know that the gloves will make me better at this task I, for some reason, have to do. I know they'll make it easier, faster. I wake up crying.
And here is my adjudication of the New Welsh Writing Awards 2022, Rheidol Prize for Prose with a Welsh theme or setting. Our third place entry is Anna and the Angel, an epistolary, diverse and feminist retelling of the biblical story set in Cardiff and Newport by Eleanor Williams. Our second place entry is The Half Place by Hattie Morrison, an innovative essay set in Ceredigion on the erasure of women within the Welsh woolen industry. With care, a Welsh blanket is woven from writing of plays and transparent, subjective and historical research. Language is something you hold on to, she writes, like a fence in the wind. And the winner is River by Tim Cook, a Bridgen writer who now lives and teaches in London. The river he writes about, or rather the semi-urban edgelands the river cuts through, is the River Ogwr or Ogmore, a setting with Danny Apps' work among its literary antecedents. Here is my adjudication of the winning piece. Set along the Ogwr or Ogmore River, this essay collection or blended non-fiction interweaves writing of place, memoir, and a searing look at the author's own childhood and how memories of that time cloud and clarify his current behaviour. This writing is perceptive, empathetic, full of self-knowledge and guided by ethics. The section I read on his helping find a lost child at Hay Festival is paced like a crime novel in which a do-gooder feels strangely like a perpetrator because of media conditioning and his own past. In developing the manuscript, Tim Cook proposes a book or long-form essay using the case of toddler James Bulger's murder by two 10-year-old perpetrators as a frame. The Ogmore riverbank is the setting, and it is the past scene of instances of dark play and bullying by the writer and his elder brother. Despite these gruelling subjects, I am certain that Tim, with his long-standing and genuinely urgent probing in his published writing of memory, media, repression and lost or hurt children, will produce superb work that will lead to enlightenment as well as lightening the load of so many readers, especially men, with whom such themes may resonate. Fittingly, among this year's competition entries, with their focus on loss and retelling, Tim's exploration of how identities evolve may well lead to a look at how the erasure of former identities is not always about loss, but can bring about growth. And now we hear from Tim Cook himself, winner with The River of the New Welsh Writing Awards 2022 Rheidol Prize for Prose with a Welsh theme or setting.
Thank you so much to Gwen and everyone at the New Welsh Review for giving me this very special award. I feel like I've taken quite a few risks, both formally and in terms of subject matter with this piece, and to have it recognised in this way is such an incredible boost for me. I really can't thank you enough. And I can't tell you how excited I am to take the work forward and to develop it into a full-length project with Gwen's guidance. I want to congratulate all of the other shortlisted and highly commended writers, some of whom I'm already a huge fan of. I can't wait to read all of your work in the New Welsh Reader when it's published. Thanks also to everyone at Swansea University, especially my PhD supervisor, Jasmine Donaghy, for helping me get to where I am at the moment with my writing. Honestly, I'm so taken aback by this, and I can't thank everyone enough. So cheers, thank you very much.
And I have just one final category winner to announce. The winner of our 18 to 25-year-old category for young writers is Hattie Morrison for The Half Place. Hattie is from Pencourt, Llandyssil. She's bilingual and has a BA in Fine Art and an MA in Writing. Her narrative essays about women's invisibility within the Welsh woolen industry retell rural histories from a new perspective and explore the idea of inherited identity. The piece of highly innovative non-fiction that I judged was taken from a wider essay on women in the Welsh woolen industry and how they have been erased. Into this is woven memoir, evocative writing of place, and the very stuff of making blankets. Hattie's work has an engaging style and immediate voice. She's experimental, touching, crafted, and very female.
Thank you so much for this award. I feel very proud and honoured to have been chosen. When I first started writing this, I kept focusing on the core part of what I was drawn to write about in the first place, which was the beauty in the mundanity and the beauty in what was hidden in and around Wales, which is heritage, culture and stories that aren't really told but are shared all the time by locals and that are learned through families and generations. And it feels really exciting to have been given this award and to be able to share those stories finally, even just a fraction of them, for more people to know and learn about this whole story. So I feel very grateful and I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Llongyfarchiadau Tim a Hattie.
Thank you very much. Your many congratulations to all of the writers who've contributed to this year's awards, the winner, the shortlisted writers, the longlisted writers, and everybody who submitted work. Llongyfarchiadau I chi gyd, pob un. A dyna'r cyfan. Diolch yn fawr am ymuno â ni a helpu I ddathlu'r wobra a dathlu ysgrifennu cyfoes yng Nghymru. We've come to the end of this year's awards ceremony, and I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part, and thank you for coming along today to celebrate Welsh writing. We hope to see many of you again in person this time next year. A hwyl fawr I chi gyd.